Hello, hello, JJ DiGeronimo here, and I'm super excited to host July 2025 Lightworkers, Healers, and Mystics Meetup. This has really been branched out of the podcast Together We Seek, and a lot of energy workers, healers, and mystics come together here to share their businesses, talk about the work they're doing, and the events that are happening. And I have to say, just over the last few months of doing this, so many great case studies and connections. So I have Mary and Awalda are hosting an event together. Atlantis went down and met Tammy in Cincinnati. Mary and I have gone to meet Catherine. There's a couple other people attending each other's workshops. So even though there's a lot of people watching, there's also a lot of synergy inside of this community and everybody joining. So I'm super excited. I just want to spend a minute and share with you that Together We Seek Online is up and running. So you can get in for free if you're on this call. Get in. You can put your retreats down here at Share Your Retreats and Events. This is great. There's people in here all day long, and people are looking for events to fill themselves up. You can also add books and your favorite mystical store, and there's plenty of things in here that you can add so that people can find you. And if you see, there's a lot of in the highlights here, there's a lot of repeat visitors. So there's people in here all the time looking and posting and sharing. And I'm really excited that this is coming to fruition because I feel like all of us need to be illuminated ourselves as we create and hold space for so many other people. So that's Together We Seek Online. And I'm super excited to start today. I'm going to let someone jump in and talk about not only who they are, but what their business is. We have a lot of new people on today, so there's a lot of potential for synergy, collaboration, and inspiration. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to all of you. Thank you for joining, and I'm excited to hear what you're up to.
I can jump in.
Awesome.
I'm Megan Edge. I'm a master healer from Canada, Victoria, BC. And I met JJ on her podcast about a year and a half ago, I guess, at this point, which was wonderful. We had an awesome connection. Don't get in here very often, but I'm really happy to be here today. I'm a healer of what I call mind, body, and soul healing. That's actually what I certify other healers in. They become a mind, body, and soul healer when they take my Confident Healer 9-month certification program. My focus in the healing work that I do is in connecting people back to their natural environments. So that's nature as medicine, food as medicine, plants as medicine, oils as medicine. It's going back to literally our roots in terms of how we stay in a healthy state of well-being mentally, physically, and spiritually. For a couple of years, I took myself completely off of social media. I took myself out of the game. I had a lot of grieving to do and a lot of healing to do of my own. And now in the last year or so, I'm stepping back in, repolishing all of my offerings, and really excited to feel this energy that I'm hearing a lot of other healers and expressives and energetic people are feeling, which is this upwelling of connection and energy. I can feel it right now. I've got all my goosebumps just as I'm even saying it. And it's the way that we creatively engage in the offerings that we have for healing the planet, healing ourselves, and helping others on their healing path as well. So with that being said, I have a couple of, what are they, celebrations that I would love to bring to the group to share with you, just in that energy of everything is starting to accelerate again. And the first one is that I'm a collaborative author on a book that's called The Expressive Arts, The Ultimate Creative Guide to Transforming Stress, with Brave Healer Publications. And this is Laura DeFranco is the woman who started Brave Healer Productions. Jean Dart is the lead author in this particular book. And my chapter taps into the power of creative photography and the healing journey of the heart, which led to my box set book of oracle cards, the Healing Hearts oracle cards and guidebook. So this book that's coming out on August 5th is a complement to my work that I've already done and a stepping off point for where I'm going to go next. And then just super quickly, I was recently published in Martha Stewart magazine, which was a huge hurrah in an article called Nostalgic Gardening. And my take was on the healing of our gardens and what we can do with that healing. Okay, that's me, and that's what I'm up to.
I'll go next. That's okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Rose Buckner. Thank you, Catherine, for inviting me to join, and thank you, JJ, for the invitation. And I apologize for background noise. I'm getting ready to check out of a state park in Illinois, and I will need to leave the call early, so I wanted to get on here. I'm an actor and a playwright, and I interview people. Those are the three things that I do that I feel good enough about to say this is what I do. I don't have a new theater project right now, but I do have a project I'm working on I'd love to share about, um, which is for two missions. One is a mission for our planet, our beautiful home Gaia, the Earth, and the other is for teenagers, teen artists. So I'm in the Chicago area, and I was watching people use plastic bags like they were, like this is gold. I got to have me some more plastic bags. I got to have me 3 plastic bags for my 2-liter bottle of Diet 7 Up. I don't know where you guys are located, and I hope this is not happening there, but it's happening here in the Midwest. And it would have been comical if but it's not funny, right? And I just thought, this is wild. These people are they not hearing? Are they whatever? So I really got interested in how could I engage more people in the concern and love for their planet, regardless of kind of whatever ideological affiliation they had. I thought there's too many people on the sidelines here. I don't think all these people are just bad or dumb. I think they're just kind of they need help. So I'm gonna sponsor a teen art competition in a very large public school here. This school has 4,000 students, and 3 teen artists will be chosen, and they will design a reusable bag. How cool is that? So my couple of driving themes is it does not have to say anything about the environment. It does not have to, you don't have to have any message on there. Just this beautiful art that comes from these teens. I used to be a teen, it was not an easy time in the 70s, and I'm guessing we got a little few more pressures now. So there'll be 3 winners, and they'll win $500 each, cash prize. They'll also get their designs printed on the bags. And for, I think, all of them, it'll probably be the first time they've ever actually sold their art. So the bags will be sold. And right now I have a committee of 3, including me. We need social media person, which could be done anywhere. And we're all volunteers. So that's what we're doing. If you're at all interested, have ideas, feel free to contact me. Our timeline is it'll start this fall with the students producing the art, and then in the spring will be the launch of the new bags that we're going to sell. So I really appreciate your letting me go on about this. Thank you.
I guess I can go. I'm Justin and the only guy on here. That's cool. I like it. I embrace all aspects of feminine energy. I used to be kind of more on the toxic side of things, and I had too much feminine energy, and that was part of the problem was I wasn't embracing it. So I think I have a really good half and half split now, which is awesome because I can get through to kind of guys, and that's I think something that's really lacking in kind of this industry is that ability to kind of get through to guys who aren't interested in that. I can speak guy really well. So I wrote a book called Sorcery 101, 13 rungs to a higher elevation of consciousness. Essentially, it's a map to heal trauma through pop culture, humor, and the force. I call it source energy. That's what, it's the name for what we all came from. We're all going back to. So sorcery is spelled with a U to distance itself from wizards and magic. It's real magic. It's healing and a focus on healing and thriving. And I was a former stand-up comedian, so I know humor pretty well, but I also know pain very well. I was spent nights on park benches and rehabs and halfway houses and jail. My 20s was a dumpster fire. So I know what it's like to come back from these things, and so I have a series of really tough traumatic events as an adult, and on top of a rough childhood, kind of brought me to my knees, so to speak. But it brought this idea to kind of help people, because at the time, it's just kind of like, wow, my life really isn't going so well right now. Like, I need some focus and direction, and it came to me. So I'm really excited to see where this goes. I'd like to turn it into, this is, the book is kind of the seed. I want to plant the career tree. So, someday I want to kind of lecture and do, stand-up philosophy, essentially. Like, I'm no longer interested in, like going and just making people laugh. I can't go to a comedy club and start my routine with a meditation. Like, no one's interested in that in a comedy setting. Like, everyone's there to drink, and you know what? I don't want to go on at 10 p.m. and, like, the life of a comedian, it kind of sucks. So I want to create my own thing, and see where this leads, and kind of do web stuff. But it's so new. This year is just about creating awareness around the book and who I am and things like that, and see kind of where it goes. But it's been a lot of fun so far, and these podcasts have been great. I've been getting plenty of them, and JJ was amazing. I was on last week. Yeah, last week. So it's been a blast, and I just hope to continue on this path, and hope to expand it out to these ideas and spirituality, and try to expand it out to more people. And I think I'm a really different bridge for that, and I can speak through to people that aren't necessarily interested in this, by using the conduit of humor and pop culture. So I'm really excited to see where it goes, and I'm excited to be here, meet everybody. And yeah, I was actually off social media for 4 years as well, and it was like putting blinders on a horse, right? I ran a better race. But I'm back on there. So if you want to look me up, I'm sorcerer with a U _13. That's the only social media I'm on right now. I really have been happy off of it, honestly. But it's part of the deal. So, but yeah, I like it. It's the whole idea of sorcery is, the world is a world of gray. It's, so social media can be both helpful and destructive. It's just how you use it. So I'm going to make it helpful. But good to be here. Stop rambling. Aho, everybody.
Okay, I'll jump in. Lori Spivey, and I'm an energy practitioner. I work with women healing from trauma, and I work with them through Reiki reflexology and Akashic record reading for mind, body, spirit. Back in the beginning of May, I hosted a retreat on becoming unstoried. And I had taken a download that I got in the middle of the night, one night when Spirit woke me up and said, "You need to provide this information and in a setting that's nurturing." So we did this retreat, and it was a very intensive retreat. And at the end of it, it was very successful. It was it was very difficult work for many of the people that attended. But what I found is that this might be better served in like a 6-week long course, to give people appropriate time to recover in between and process everything that's happening. And so I'm starting a beta group on Tuesday with a 6-week course, to see how it goes and tweak it a little bit. And then I want to take it into larger audiences, such as in Cleveland, we have Hannah's Home and Laura's House, to really help women who are already in trauma, and help to give them an edge, going down to that cellular level, to really break down the stories that they've created in their minds and in their bodies emotionally, and to give them some tools to help overcome and release that. So that's currently what I'm doing. And thank you, JJ, for the opportunity.
I guess I can go. I've been waiting. Hi, I'm Mary Hernandez, and I'm a physical medium and a divine energy healer. And when I bring in spirit, so in each session, I bring in the Ascended Masters. So I work closely with the Ascended Masters, especially with people that have had challenges in their life, like trauma, any emotional trauma, any stored energy in their body. And mainly the people that have been getting really large, amazing miracles is the ones that have been holding on to trauma for so many years. And they've had miracle experiences like release and, from things like jaw pain, neck pain, hip pain. I've seen a couple of cancer patients, that want to see me as an added person, kind of like when they're sent home, basically, to just, you know, say bye to their family, right? And there's been miracles happening, and those miracles are all coming from the Ascended Masters that I work with, because I work with Source. I'm just a conduit for them, and this is a vessel. And I just wanted to say that, and I'm also I have a certificate in Reiki Master. I do private mentoring sessions. I just started my heart remembrance course as well. And I also do psychic readings, by the way, but the divine healings are like what I'm being called to do, like whether it's through the heart remembrance course, where there's a healing session with each session of the course. And basically what the heart remembrance course is, going back to our heart space and also remembering who we are innately. We all have gifts. So it's just awakening those gifts, remembering what those gifts are. So I help you communicate with your guides, understand and interpret symbols, explore all the chakras. So if you don't know about chakras, those are 7 levels of consciousness that we go through to get higher levels of consciousness, to be able to ascend and speak with our ascended masters and become one with them. And I do guided meditations throughout the course, and a sound bath. I also do sound baths. Let's see, my gosh, I'm an artist. I love taking pictures. JJ knows, because we've spent a lot of time together. I do private mentorship on one-on-one sessions with the course, and I work basically at the state of where you are in your journey. Basically, the Ascended Masters would let me know where exactly you need to start off with a course or in healing. In the healing sessions, going back to that, Mother Mary basically would scan your body and tell me what's going on. And basically, they go in and heal and release whatever trauma. And it's a work together, right? You have to be open and receptive to receive the healing, and open and receptive to be able to let go of the trauma as well. So I always tell my clients, it's you have to be open and receptive and ready to release, and I believe that that's the biggest challenge for people. They're so used to of carrying this trauma around that it becomes them. And when they release it, then it feels like they're a new person all over again. And I love collaborating, by the way, with anyone. I love doing sound baths. I do tarot cards, channelings, so a little bit of everything I do. And my next event is going to be here in Ohio, in Columbus, Ohio, and I'm doing a healing yoga and Reiki and sound bath healing here. And then I'm doing one in August 3rd, which JJ mentioned, with Awilda. And she's doing the sound bath and I'm doing activations. So basically just activating whatever's dormant in your DNA with the Ascended Masters. And then in September, my Heart Remembrance course starts again because I'm going to take August off. And part of my art, I'm going to show just one because this one, I don't even know if you could see it. Oh no, you can't see it. Oh, okay. Darn. Okay. Nope, nope, nope. You can't. Wow, I guess not. Okay. All right. I'll see if I could post it somewhere. But yeah, thank you so much. And I'll put in my information on here and you guys could find me at Mary the Angel Within at in Instagram. Thank you, JJ.
Hi, this is Lynette Dillon. Apologize for not having my camera on today. I'm volunteering at football camp, so there's things going on here. I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm new to a lot of these forums and recently had a podcast interview with JJ, which was wonderful. I started my career 30 years ago as an accountant, a CPA, and a CFO, and I worked in both technology and pharma. And my passion during all my working years was really holistic medicine and natural healing. So at some time I had the opportunity to go pursue both of these full time. And my journey led me to energy, frequency, and vibration, which I really feel is the future of healing. So my mission with my work and what I do is to bridge the gap between mainstream medicine and energy, frequency, and vibration, and energy healing. So after 30 years as a executive in pharma and technology, I'm now a holistic healthcare practitioner and an energy therapist. So I work with frequency medicine, and I spend quite a bit of time for the last 5 years testing on the scientific side. Being that I was a former finance person, I was always a skeptic when it came to kind of mystical healing. So I really dove in to try to work on bringing forth the messaging on the scientific side of this and how so many people have gone and experimented with this and really proven that this works. So fast forward to now, my company Tangle Health, which is a nod to quantum entanglement. I work with people. Most of my clients come to me because they have gone through normal practitioners and through, their annual medical screenings and have come back with their diagnostic tests all normal, but they're still not feeling well. The two main questions in my mission were, if cells regenerate themselves, why aren't we healing ourselves? And if all of my diagnostic tests are normal, why do I feel unwell? So my mission on my work is really to bridge this gap. When you leave your doctor and they say, okay, your medical tests are normal, but maybe your glucose is a little high, or maybe your cholesterol is a little high. Let's keep an eye on it. What does that exactly mean for the next 12 months? So I believe that this question can be solved using energy medicine, which is a combination of both bioresonance. I work in bioresonance quite a bit, frequency healing, and I work with intuition, so intuitive medicine. So the format that I'm working on now is I see clients individually, and I'm also working with, I speak at women's health conferences and I do group healing sessions. So that's a little bit about what I do, and I'm at tanglehealth.com.
I'll jump in next. My name's Judy Onorato, otherwise known as Judy O. And I'm an hour outside of Toronto in Canada. And I pulled together or I work with astrology, numerology, Chinese metaphysics, and my intuition to help people when they're in a place of either new beginning, uncertainty. So people come to me and it's like they don't even know what they want from the session. They just have this sense that they're looking for answers, they're looking for clarity, and they're looking for a sense of essentially what they're doing is their logic and their mind isn't lining up with what they intuitively feel. I work predominantly with entrepreneurs or women who are just in this new place in their life. It's like they want to come back into themselves again. So there's this whole piece of leadership. There's this whole piece of doing business your way, really, really coming into the full expression of yourself. But I tend to work very much with people who are what I call gentle women with fire in their belly. They've got purpose, they've got a desire to make an impact, but they're not seeking the spotlight and the rah-rah and all the rest that goes with it. They're not racehorses, that's what I say. But at the same time, they're looking to see so there's this whole piece of having energetic support and that confirmation within yourself that you really know who you are. And in knowing that, then you bring that to the world. You make a difference and an impact because look, you're the starter in the process. Like I'm the starter in the process. I call myself a guide and not a coach, because you're going to come to me when you're at this point and you got all these pieces to pull together and feel ready to move forward. And then, you may do another session in a short distance, or it may be 10 years later. I've had clients that have come back to me after 10 years. So just at different turning points, at different starting points. So it could be the beginning of the year. What astrological support do you have that's going to help you create a strategy for your marketing? When's the best months for you to put that stuff out there? Because every month isn't the same for all of us, right? Like every aspect of, when are we really seen more? When is it time to lay low and really consolidate what you're doing so that then when you put it out there, it has impact and maybe even speed. So so I do one-on-one consultations. Everything starts with a conversation. I don't work with anybody I haven't already had a conversation with. And I do annual vision retreats, soul vision retreat. And I've created 2 programs one's working with the new moon, and it's called Intentional Growth. So it really is about moving into that creative flow. And the other is Focus and Flow. So it's using numerology to get back in tune with your own rhythm and your own cycle of timing. So then you can actually bring it down to your time blocking in a way that, oh, look, I'm going to be in creative flow that day. So it's going to be easier for me to write that book, or it's going to be easier for me to do the editing and all that kind of stuff. So that's me. Thank you.
I can go next. Oh, sorry. Does somebody else want to? Okay, well, I'll go next. I'm Kathy Warrior. Hello. And I love coming right after you, Judy, because it seems like a lot of the similar ideas of who comes to me is like people who like they know there's more, or they know they're like looking for something maybe to like who they know they can be, but they don't even know what to ask. Like sometimes people will just come like, I don't know, just whatever. So I do tarot and intuition with people. And a lot of times people will show up with just literally no question, like, oh, I've just felt like I needed to come and that there's a message for me. Just tell me what the cards say. Or people will have some kind of, goal they're trying to reach, but they can't figure out how to reach it. They need some guidance there. And it's always a very purpose-driven goal, right? Or they're making a career shift and they're asking me like, how do I know it's like what I'm supposed to be doing, like what's leading more to my purpose and the words that they're using, or relationships, how to navigate relationships for like the benefit of everybody involved, just with more grace, all of that. So I do a lot of the tarot and oracle cards, which is funny because I am a scientist by training. I've done like 30 years in the scientific community. So Lynette, I was definitely resonating with what you were saying as well, because like this is completely opposite of what I'm used to doing. Like I've only been doing this for like a year, and I'm so happy that I've made the shift. It feels so much more fulfilling, and like I can make a real impact in people's lives. But I do take that science mind into my work still. Like I try to be very methodical about the way we structure the question and the way that I place the cards and what they're actually each card is asking about. And then like if you have a how-to question, I'm going to send you off with an action plan. Like you're going to know, what do you need to do? What do you need to not do? Who can you look to for help? Like, what do you need to change? Like all of that. And we'll write it all out at the end. So I do keep that kind of mentality, but in a much more open way. I'm also, so my background for science was sounds, how your brain processes sounds. And so when I found out about sound baths, I was like, yes, I need to do sound baths. How could I not be doing sound baths? So that is something I really, really love to do. And the benefits, I mean, are just so huge for just sitting and laying there for an hour. You come out with, a clear mind, the tension, you can just leave that tension on the floor. And there are all these studies showing, your cortisol levels decrease, you sleep better, you're in a better mood. Like there's so many benefits. And so I'm looking to start doing more one-on-one sessions with the sound baths, and kind of move towards more individual healing sessions with people, because I do see the benefits, in a group. Everybody experiences it so differently. The people come up to me and say, oh, all different experiences from the same bath, same room, same space, same energy, and everybody experiences what they need to receive, which is beautiful. And I feel like I could really amp that up in an individual setting. So I'll stop rambling on that. That's me. That's what I do. Yes, thank you. And thank you for everybody. Thank you, JJ, for holding this space. It's so wonderful to meet all these people and see all the beautiful work that's being done. There's so much. I love it. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Gwyneth Flack, and I've been teaching intuitive development to professionals for the past 18 years and clairvoyance and healing. And I had a center for a physical center for about 10 years. And so recently in May, I published a book, and it's called Limitless: Transform Your Life with Intuition and Creativity. And so I've been really having fun promoting that book on podcasts and bookstores and things like that. I was on JJ's amazing podcast, which was really fun, and I'm hopefully just going to continue doing podcasts progressively this year. I work privately with people, and I teach lots of courses. So I teach beginner to advanced intuitive development. And so I've always got usually I have multiple courses going on, and then working one-on-one with people. And I wrote this book because I really, teaching over 18 years, I really noticed that there are specific stumbling blocks that people run into when they go to develop their intuition or their clairvoyance. I mean, just different words for the same thing. But so when they go to develop that part of themselves, there's specific stumbling blocks that they run into. And so I really wanted to write a book that served two purposes. One, allowed this work to get into the hands of more people so that more people could discover that they are intuitive and realize how deeply intuitive they have been all along. and how that shows up in their life, and then how they can develop that. And so I really wanted to make it an introduction that is, it's a book that somebody could read who is just getting into it and they're really interested, or a book that somebody could read who actually has been doing the work for many years and they're trying to bring into their conscious awareness or find new ways of talking about it, find new ways of sharing the work. So I thought, how can I make this really accessible? Because I think we're living at a time in history on the planet when we need to bring this work to more and more people. And there's a whole group of people who are kind of left out of this work because they don't connect with it if it's delivered to them in certain ways with certain words, or they just don't even have access to it. And so that was one of the goals with this book, was to give people an intuitive toolbox and really find a way. It's got like 20 activities in it as well, exercises, which people are saying are great, which I didn't know if they would be great or not, because I've always taught experientially, right? When you teach it's experiential and you put it in a book, then you don't know, but people are saying the exercises do work really well for them. Oh, and the audiobook just came out yesterday. So yeah, that should be a nice, I love audiobooks. I mean, I love podcasts and I love audiobooks. So I'm excited about the audiobook coming out as well. And I'm just excited for all the possibilities that are bubbling up, going forward. I'm probably going to be partnering with a nurse and teaching the tools at a nurse retreat, and where they get their continuing education credits through anyways, there's so many different ways to bring this. I might be partnering with a writer, a creative writer, to bring it to writers. And so there's all the regular courses that I do, but then I'm kind of excited about doing a bunch of in-person retreats, and maybe partnering with people for short courses or short retreats, that kind of thing. So I could talk and talk, but I think I've said enough, and it's great to hear everyone else talk about all the amazing things they're doing. Thanks. And thanks, JJ.
We have a few more people on. Does anyone else want to introduce
I'll go
themselves?
next.
Yay.
I'm Catherine Ebacher, and I'm a medical intuitive, so resonating with a lot of what people have shared today in terms of the value of those intuitive skills. And I do private sessions through Listen to the Body Talk, and I'm doing a new course called Mind Body Maps. And Mind Body Maps, I'm going to give you a brief little demo of it in just a minute, but it's based on the premise that the body speaks, and it speaks through symptoms, through pain, little whispers, tickles on the toes, that sort of thing, that are waiting to be heard. And these maps guide. So that's an intuitive description that reveals the hidden messages within the body. The intuition navigates the map, and we use muscle checking, and we use intuitive scanning and this sort of thing. And then once we get to the story of that body speaking, that literally, the awareness of that transforms both your inner world and therefore your external world. And it almost does that miraculously, but it's truly with the awareness that we are given that creative skill. So let me just jump in to a little screen sharing here and show you the maps. Okay. So these are mind body maps, and And it incorporates a whole host of things that are going to be a year-long course. But the commitment for an in-person lecture is like 2 hours a month with up to 6 hours, because I'm going to repeat each lesson 3 times. But it goes through the spectrum of emotions, and the gene keys are a big component to this because I have incorporated body talk, which is our body's language, organs, endocrines, body parts, what they're talking about in terms of anatomy, physiology, and psychology, and combine that with genetics. So the gene key that's in the stars right now, because this is related to the I Ching, to the dream arc here, the gene keys incorporate both the I Ching and human design to give you a personal free profile map of your own consciousness, and then it interfaces with what's on the planet. So it was really interesting that rabbit came up this month because a number of people showed me their pet rabbits, their little pet bunnies. And all of a sudden, we get these key words associated with this gene that stays in transit for 6 days. So the shadow is immaturity, and it has some fear-based and anger-based reactions. The simplicity theory or expansion, and think about little rabbits, they expand and multiply quite readily. And then superabundance is what's called the divine gift. So we embrace the shadow, we release the gift, and then we embody the siddhi, SIDDHI. It incorporates a lot of things that people have mentioned today: nature, the essential oils, nature, the crystals or the gems, or in some cases, metals and things of that nature in the nature world. It has a codon ring that is incorporated with both a high-level consciousness, but also science, right? Literally the amino acids in our gene, in our bodies that make hormones and neurotransmitters and proper nutrition and these sorts of things are made with a combination of genes. So this is related to the ring of seeking, and it makes all of this serine biologically, but it also has all this consciousness associated with it. It incorporates astrological signs. So Cancer is in the sky, or in our consciousness today. If you've got a birthday around this time, it's related to the spleen and the moon, and we can dance through that intuitively. All of the spleen genes that are associated with that astrologically through Cancer show up here, and then you can dance into another one. This is the gift of leadership, and it has itch oils, and then body talk is all incorporated down here, where this is related to the heart. The other one was the spleen, and it's got all of these characteristics, both from a consciousness perspective of the wisdom of the heart, and the house characteristic from astrology. How do you feel most free? Where is your creativity? It's embracing our arrogance, finding that creativity in how we feel free, and leading others. As all of you have described, you've got the ability to do that through this gift of the gene key of sounding your truth. So I'm going to stop there and figure out how to stop screen sharing. But this course starts in September. It will go for a year, like I said, and I'll put my details in the map, but it's really for healers, for intuitive seekers, and June Key enthusiasts who want to expand into this greater connection with the body. So thank you.
Okay, so now
you gonna go?
I chose to go last because I just love listening to everybody. And anyway, so I'm Heather Sherrill. I own a business called Serene Intentions. The business is now 12 years old at least. So I am an accredited certified EFT practitioner, and I chose EFT as my modality because of the science behind it. I'm totally a woo-woo girl. If it feels good for me, I go with it and I live through my intuition. But, you know, doing healing work and trauma stuff, people want science. They want proof this stuff works. Although I prefer to work just through my intuition, I like to know that I have science to back me up. Also important thing about me is I've been a hairdresser for 33 years. And I actually was just on a call with somebody earlier today. You know, being who you are and showing up in whatever you do is really what matters. I would have to say that I have as much healing happen in the beauty shop as I do when I'm in private sessions with people. As most of you know, your hairdresser knows more about you than anybody else. But something I want to share with you guys as energy healers. Who else is in your crown chakra, your third eye, your throat, and your heart? We're actually touching you, right? So energetically, it's so much bigger than just what appears on the outside. You know, I do nails, and sometimes somebody will say, "Oh, your hands got warm." I'm like, "Oh, I guess you needed that Reiki today," because it happened. Like, I don't necessarily make it on purpose. But anyway, I am just super much me about everything all of you said. The healing comes through us. Our bodies already know it. That's why I love EFT. You don't need me. You don't need anything. It's already in here. Once you learn, you have it. You can tap in your car. You can tap in the bathroom at work when somebody pisses you off, like whatever. You can be at a dinner and tap your hands under the table. So anyway, that's another reason why I chose EFT, because it's with you anytime, anywhere, and you don't need anything. You just need to remember to do it. And I also teach guided meditations publicly because, again, you don't need anything. Your breath is inside of you. It's your gift of life. We have lots of things outside, but I like to bring it back to the basics, to what you were born with. You already have within you. You just have to learn to use it and tap into it. And I could talk all day because I'm so much the disbelief in everything that every single one of you are doing. And I'm so glad that you have this for us, JJ, to have it brought together. And there's just more and more and more and more. When I started my business 13 years ago in Northeastern Ohio, as many of you know, mindfulness and meditation wasn't a buzzword walking around. There wasn't a yoga studio on every other corner. But it happened because I listened. I listened to what came to me. And even though I got called lots of things and people looked at me really weird and whatever in the cornfields, right, because I lived in the country, I listened. And when it was time, they had a place to come. So I just thank you all for your service to all of the people that you're with, because we just keep the light getting brighter and brighter, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger. So bless you all. Have a wonderful weekend.
This is so magical. I just love all of your work, and I love all the connections that are happening here and after we end. So I just encourage all of you to continue to stay connected. I'll put the video up on YouTube and you can add your links to that if you want. I encourage you to go inside of Together We Seek and post anything that you're sharing, hosting, gathering, because people look on there for people, not just people that join us. They're looking from my podcast all the time. I lead them there. So it's a great place to share what you're doing. But most importantly, I just love your friendship, and I've worked with so many of you, and I would say that it has been life-changing for me. So I feel like we can help and heal each other as we do our work in the world. And I encourage you to invest in yourself as much as others are investing in you, because that will just make you more radiant and help others illuminate their path. So with that, I'm just very grateful. We have a few minutes if anyone else wants to say anything. I don't know, Stephanie, if you want to jump in, but I just am really grateful that all of you come together at this time, and I could not be more honored to know all of you.
This is the picture.
Oh,
That is the picture I was trying to show you. So this
that
is
is
in Innis
awesome.
Woods in here in Ohio. I Spirit told me take a picture, and that's how I hear Spirit. They told me take a picture, and then they told me that night mirror it. And then when I mirrored it, it became angel wings. And when I posted it, I said the light is coming to Earth because that was the actual message. Light is coming, is being flooded. Angels are flooding the planet or Earth to help us, to help guide us. So this is like one of the beautiful pictures, one of the many, there's so many. In Waterwood, I took another one and it became a pyramid. There was a pyramid in Waterwood. So yeah, it's just amazing. I had to share this one because I was told it was an activation. So I'm actually going to take commissions on it, you know, like I'm going to start selling pieces of it. So I'm taking it to this weekend I have a Hispanic art festival, and I'm gonna take it along with some other artwork that I have. So yeah, lots of pictures, but too bad you guys can't see it there. But I'm gonna post them soon on my website. But thank you. I just wanted to share that because I think that picture is just so wow. It just does some magic. Seriously. Thank you. You guys are all amazing.
That's amazing, Mary.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, you know what? This is the first time that I've been with the group. So when I hopped on here, I really wasn't sure, how the whole format would go. But wow, everything that every one of you is bringing to the table is so exciting. And I just love that. I absolutely resonate. And I really know that I'm right in the right place with all of you. So thank you, JJ, and thank you to each and every one of you, because this is right in the middle of the workday, and this is our work. So thank you for carving out the time that I was able to have, the opportunity to learn about each and every one of you guys, because we are birds of a feather, and we each are a different feather. And boy, this bird's going to fly really well. So I love that. My business isn't fully launched yet, but I'm a couple of weeks away, and I'm an artist, and I actually have lived in the Atlanta area for about 30 years, but recently, you know how life seasons shift and change. I've recently relocated back to the Cleveland, Ohio area, and my wonderful, amazing brother-in-law used to work with JJ over, I think in Independence, maybe in IT, Carl Faderman. And he said, "You have got to look this girl up when you get home." So I did. And here we are, right? So Carl was right about that, right? He's good about that sort of thing. So I moved home, and in Atlanta, I spent 30 years in I was an artist there, and I specialized in storefront window advertising. So I was a painter, and I painted these great big fun murals on storefronts, and it was advertising. I loved it. I got to be in the public, and in the beginning, I I just wanted to go paint, I mean, I just needed to get it out of my system, right? But being in the environment in the public like that, I realized quickly that I was getting a lot of feedback. I didn't need to A/B split test anything. People will talk to you when they're on the sidewalk, right? So I started to realize that these two hands were really affecting, like, deeply. I mean, I've had grown men like break down and cry over some of the artwork. I'm like, and I mean, I don't just advertise. I put heart and soul into my advertising work anyway, but I started to really realize there was something really powerful going on here. And I had to take a step back and, think about that. But spirituality was always my hobby thing. It was what I did when I wasn't doing my vocation. Well, so, time goes on, and before I know it, frequency things started to, appear in my timeline. And I'm a scientist really at heart. And I kind of like to think of myself as my art studio as my lab. So I started to realize, I was having like certain, needs or things that I wanted to do in life. And I was having some trouble getting those things connected, and started to realize, intention has a lot to do with it, our mindsets. And, I started to realize with the oils, the essential oils, and just all the different frequency elements. Each one of these kind of came into my my realm of understanding in upfront and close and personal ways. And I thought about this. I thought, when I saw the movie The Secret, and I thought, I like that vision board idea because I'm an artist, but I didn't love the way they looked. I guess I'm an art snob. And I thought, well, what about if instead of like a traditional poster board work, I'm living proof of that they work, but I thought instead of like a poster board with glue stick and cutout magazine things, what if I made it like as a fine art project and slapped that sucker right above the mantle? It would be in my vision 24/7, but they talked about excess potential. When you have something in your environment, you do kind of tune it out a little bit, but art still kind of connects you. When you look at art, your heart, you get the brain heart coherence. So every time I'd walk through the living room, I was connecting to that vision board, but it was like fine art. And I'll tell you what, some interesting things started to happen. So then I got the crazier idea. I thought, well, okay, that was intention. But then I had some friends that were oilers, essential oil people, and they were like, yeah, you can add that to your paint. And I thought, well, that would just ramp up the frequency a whole bunch. So let's give that a shot. So that was the beginnings of my 12-step process. I started to add different frequency elements just testing things out. Because, I had needs in life, and I thought, well, let's make a vision board for it. And then all of a sudden I got the bright idea to like feng shui. Have you ever known about that? I had gotten a book way back in the 90s, and I browsed through it and I set it down. I never came back to it, but I went and I dusted it off the shelf and I put that vision board in that right spot. And I did a few other little wow, the results were bizarre and amazing. So then some of my friends got in, and they were like, well, what are you doing over there? So I helped them with a few things too. And these were just fun experiments along the way. But I wound up including like intention, feng shui, chakras, because again, some of the things the challenges that we're involved with in life, they're also affecting us in our bodies. And I started to realize, aligning these vision boards of the artwork with chakras, those actually also correspond. Like, Catherine, you've got the maps, girlfriend. You've got them. My work is very similar to yours in that way because I use sacred geometry, Fibonacci, because those intentions, when they spiral out into universe, it's exponential. It's even scriptural. It says, like, how does it say? When two are together, it's like 10,000. It's not twice as many. It's exponential. So even color palette, I looked into the color frequencies, all the color frequencies and sound frequencies. These paintings are bathed in color baths and sound baths. I use solfeggio frequency tuning forks on them, and we've got the sound bowls going on. So that is a lot of fun, and even began to bring in the elements like crystals and metals, because those are very high frequency. And then this was kind of an interesting thing that happened. One time I had made a great big painting. It was a huge canvas. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't really do fine art for the living. It's advertising typically. And at the end of it, I was like, I don't really like that. So I thought, well, the masters, they would just paint right over it, right? So I thought, okay, I'll just paint right over it. Use the canvas again, right? But the painting that was underneath, it was of an angel, and it had some scriptures on there. And those were really powerful. And even though I didn't love the visual, I'm not a portrait artist. That's, it is what it is, right? I do florals better. I do lettering better. So I painted over it though, and I hung it. And I did like that one. but it kept resonating in my spirit that that angel was still there and those words were still alive. And then I started to realize, the words that we carry and we speak and we write, they carry a frequency. And whether it's visible or not, it's still there and it's still emanating that. So it was very interesting. I wound up seeing something, probably went by on TikTok or Instagram or something. There's a museum, I think it's in Spain. It's in Europe, we'll say that. And they used to do that too, way back in the day, apparently. They used to go and do like secret paintings underneath paintings, and it would just like kind of fly under the radar. So these are the 12 steps that I'm using in my law of attraction art. The name of the business, like I said, I'm not really fully launched yet. The business or the website is just kind of getting finalized. I'm getting the social media hopefully connected this week or next week. There's the behind the scenes things, but it'll be called Vision Painter Art. And this one right behind me is one of them. There are 2 archangels on this. The stories will be all listed on the website, so you'll be able to see why I did each. So right now it's the beta collection that's on there. There's about a dozen, and these were all the experience, but this has been going on since 2002. And I never intended to make it a vocation, or otherwise I'd have taken a lot better notes. I was just goofing around on the weekend. I was just giving it a try, but the results were so incredible. When I got to Ohio, my older business, but I had been with it for 30 years. I got everything out of it I ever wanted. And I really did want to do something new. So I thought, let's bring this to the world. Let's share this with the world, because if this is helping me, now granted, these were my original intentions. However, what Spirit really pointed out to me was that even like with all the different 9 feng shui bagwas, if you're familiar with that, all of our intentions really do kind of fall into those 9 different sections in life. So if we were to create, bodies of artwork that had those intentions for love or romance or for career or for family relations or any of those types of needs, those would really blanket everybody and serve more people in a broader way than even if I were to try to offer custom commissions, which blew my mind because that's all I've ever done. I've never done spec work, not one. So how do you have a career of 30 years as an artist and never do one piece like that? So this has all been very spirit-led, and look where I got brought to today.
It's a spectacular story. Holy cow. Well, when you get your website up,
this with you.
Yeah, when you get your website up, make sure you post in the community so we can all check it out. And if you're going to have courses or classes or online activities, I hope you post them in there too. And we're so close. I'm sure you'll end up meeting all of us because we do get together in person. So,
oh, that's so great. I am so excited to do that with you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you everybody who joined today and sharing your story and your love and your inner guidance, wisdom, and gifts with the world, because as you know, we all need them, and we are here to raise the frequency and illuminate the work that we're doing across the planet. So thank you everyone who joined.
Thank you.
Thank you.